Hi everyone, wanted to show you the card we made at our Stampin' Social evening last week. Everyone who attended, this was the make and take that they got to do. It showcases the Spooktacular Bash stamp set and the Monster Bash suite. We've got some DSP pieces and some ribbon. Super cute inside. This is from the annual catalog, and I'll show you how we put it together real quick. You might think that this was all one piece, but it's actually 3 pieces. So I cut 2 of this ornate frame that is part of the ornate frame dies. It coordinates with the Spooktacular Bash suite as a bundle in the Monster Bash suite. And again, I cut 2 of these, and what we're going to do is we're going to layer them together, and then when you put this oval on top, it'll almost appear as if it's one unit. I did sponge around that, and that kind of changed the color a little bit, but that's okay. This I cut out with an oval die out of the annual catalog, right from the Monster Bash Suite DSP. And we're going to sponge the edges. I don't know if you saw an earlier video where I said this Sahara sand and sponge was already on the desk, so that's what I used. Right, this is the card that I was using them on. I actually got this idea from another demonstrator, Anne Kruchek, and she had layered this on a different card, and it didn't really work for me, but I did like the concept of taking these 2 frames and putting them together. Maybe we'll even just do a little bit of sponging on here. Kind of antique that a little bit too. Why not? I went through a phase when I first learned sponging that I sponged every card I had, and I would be talking to someone on the phone and they would say, "What's that noise?" Because if I was talking with someone on the phone, I was probably stamping too. And I had to explain to them about sponging. Some of them really had no idea what I was talking about. But if you spent any time with me, you sure did. All right, so sponged. Again, ornate frames, not just for Halloween. You could use these for any time. I think they're going to be really pretty with some Christmas things too. All right, so we'll just layer those together, put a little snail adhesive on here, and just so I get that the same, try to put that right here. This over the top of it, just so I get the spacing right. Okay. Then I'm going to put that right on top of it, and then I'll use dimensionals to give that a little bit of height when I put it on the entire card. All right, so there we go. We'll set that over here out of the way. We're going to be using this lovely little stamps. You probably can't see that because of glare. I know that's a problem. So there's a spider and a frog and some bones and some specimen jars, and that's what we're going to use. We're going to decorate this piece of terracotta tile, and we're going to create this pattern. The easiest way to do that is to make it look like it is cut from an existing piece. So I'm going to take this off the bottom and stamp that, and then just keep going right like that. Now on the next one, I'm gonna take this over so that the frog is above the spider now. And then you'll have to come back in on this side and fill that piece in. And you keep moving the frog over the spider. So your jars keep moving just a little bit. And this one's a little tougher. There we go. All right, again, line the frog up over the spider jar. Then come back in, line him up over here. Guess we could start on this edge. We don't have to go that far. And fill back in on that side. And we're done. And again, remember, this is a background piece, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Close that up. We're going to get the sponge back out from our Sahara sand. And you could use smoky slate or basic gray if you wanted something a little darker. If you wanted this same color, you could sponge on some terracotta tile. I just like the Sahara sand. It ages it a little bit, gives it that worn, weathered look. There you go. And you could even swirl some on there if you wanted to when you're done in the middle, but mine's going to be mostly covered up. I'll do that in the middle. If you just did a little bit like this, see how it ages the paper? Hopefully you can. There we go. Age it just a little bit. All right, let's layer this all together. Get my bone folder out. We're going to fold this basic gray card base. So if you have any questions about the card bases, they're typically an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And what I do is I score that whole sheet at 4 1/4, and then I cut it in half. So now this piece is 8.5 by 5.5, and it was already scored in the middle. And then you just use your bone folder to give it a nice good crease. All right, get our snail adhesive. We're going to place this right in the middle, or as close as we can get it. Tell them it's handmade, it's not perfect. All right, now I have a piece of basic black that I ran through an embossing folder. We'll layer that right there. And this is a piece of DSP from the Monster Bash suite, and I just cut a thin strip. Maybe I'll put a little bit on this edge. There we go. All right. Put that right on there. And then this one, we're going to pop up with some dimensionals. Put one in each corner and probably one in the middle, just because this has a lot on it. Sometimes if it's a single piece, I don't put that many, but this has 2 frames, and then that DSP piece. Well, that one's being stubborn. All right. Then we'll place this one right there. And the last thing we're going to do, I don't know if you can see, I'll move it up a little bit. All right, I always use my grid paper. This is Stampin' Up! Grid paper. You can purchase it. I use it a lot for measuring, so I needed at least a 9-inch piece of ribbon. My rules are, if you are going to tie a bow, you're probably going to need an 8.5 by 9-inch piece of ribbon. If you're going to tie just a knot, probably 4.5 inch. So you can do bunny ears like this. If you don't know what bunny ears are, they're how I tied my shoes until I was in 3rd grade. There we go. All right, there's a quick bow. That's the quickest bow ever, right? Now you could fuss around with that a little bit, or we can just get a glue dot and put it right on. And this one might need 2. This is a little bit heavier bow. Which side looks better? We like that one. So if you need a couple, don't be shy. Go ahead and put another piece on there. There we go. Now if you wanted to, you could trim those ends, make that bow a little bit smaller. We're going to leave it for now. We're going to open it up. And then on the inside, we're going to do that, have a Spooktacular Halloween stamp. It's in the Spooktacular Bash suite. All right, we're going to put that right here in the middle. And again, I like to press down and count to 5 or something silly like that, just to give that ink a chance to absorb off onto my cardstock. That looks a little light. I think I need to re-ink this guy. I do have re-inkers for all of these, and I need to get those out and use them. All right, we are going to use the Twinkle Builder. I could not remember the name. It's the Twinkle Builder Punch. And you see this little slider right here? They store flat, and then when you slide that, it pops up for punching. Your cardstock goes in this end. I just slide it in there till I see it, and then boom, everything pops out. And we do want a couple extra stars, so I'll just punch that one, maybe that one. All right. Now we're going to be using our liquid glue. And we'll put down the moon first. Just put that guy right there. And then I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 stars. And once I get those in place, I'm going to come back and decide where I want the last one. And you could use your U-Pick tool. These aren't giving me too much trouble, so I'll just continue using my fingers. Now I put the glue where I'm placing them, because if I try to pick up something with glue on it, I'm just going to make a huge mess. All right, so what do we think? Right there or down here? I like it better up there. All right, so one last drop of glue. Put that star right there. Turn it how we want it. There we go. All right, so that's the inside of our card. Again, that's the terracotta tile. This is basic gray. And then the DSP is from the Monster Bash suite, and so is this ribbon. If you like this card and you want to purchase any of the products, www.cherylsmith.stampinup.net. If you have any questions about any of the dimensions or anything that you saw tonight, just message me or reply in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Happy Halloween, and I hope you can use this for some of your celebrations. Thanks. Bye.